Today, we're jumping into something wild, a million-liter relay race. We're talking about a high-stakes journey to move a massive amount of fuel clear across a continent.
So how on earth do you even begin to move 1,000,000 liters of fuel across a continent? I mean, this isn't just filling up your car at the pump. We're talking about a volume of fuel that could literally fill half an Olympic-sized swimming pool. It's just a staggering amount.
And to wrap our heads around how this complex chain of logistics and data actually works, we're going to do something pretty cool. We're going to zoom right in and follow one single order, from the very beginning to the final drop.
Yep, 1,000,000 liters. That's the magic number. The scale here is just immense. And believe me, the stakes are incredibly high. The best way to think about this? It's like a high-speed, 3-day digital relay race across southern Africa. But, instead of runners on a track, you've got different departments. And the baton they're passing? It's not a piece of plastic, it's critical data. So let's see how this race gets started.
All right, first up, the million-liter journey itself. We're going to trace this whole thing from source to destination.
Okay, on to the deal and the dispatch. So where does a journey like this even kick off? Well, it all starts with a single massive deal.
It all begins with an executive making a big purchase. We're talking 1,000,000 liters of 50 ppm fuel. That's a type of low-sulfur diesel from a primary supplier like Sasol. And that one transaction, that's the starting gun for the entire relay race.
But that brings up a really good question, right? How does a purchase, a number on a screen, actually become fuel physically moving in a truck? I mean, a spreadsheet can't drive itself, and that's where the team comes in.
So let's meet the relay team. Each one of these departments has an absolutely critical role. You've got the executive who makes the buy, kicking the whole thing off. Then, bam, the baton is passed to customs, who plans the tricky cross-border part. Then, it's on to logistics for the in-country delivery, and operations for the final allocation. All the while, you've got finance in the background, keeping score of every single dollar.
So the second that deal is signed, that digital baton is passed. And now, the customs team is officially on the clock. Their job? To take that huge 1,000,000-liter order and turn it into a real, concrete, physical plan. And here's their playbook. They don't just send one giant tanker, of course. That's not how it works. They have to deconstruct the order, breaking it down into manageable 40,000-liter truckloads. Then they assign trucks and drivers, and, this is absolutely crucial, they get all the complicated cross-border paperwork ready to go. This planning, this meticulous groundwork, is what makes or breaks a smooth start.
Okay, planning's done. Now for the exciting part. Fuel on the move. The physical journey is officially underway.
So this whole transit takes about 3 days. Day 1, the trucks are filled up at the supplier terminal in Mozambique. Day 2 is the big one, crossing the border. And let me tell you, this is not like a simple toll booth. If your paperwork isn't absolutely perfect, you could be stuck for hours, even days. That's exactly why having that real-time data is a game changer. And then by day 3, the truck finally rolls into the depot in Botswana. The international leg is complete.
And here's the thing to remember. These trucks aren't just hauling fuel. They're transmitting data. The drivers are uploading all these critical documents in real time. Invoices, permits, clearance forms. This gives the team back at headquarters a live feed, letting them track everything, verify the volumes, and start planning the next moves long before that truck even arrives.
All right, next section. Planning the final mile. The fuel has made it across the border, which is huge, but this race is far from over. Now it's time to plan that last, crucial leg of the journey. And this is where the whole system gets really smart. The operations manager isn't just sitting around waiting for the trucks to show up. No way. Because of that live data stream, they're already planning where that fuel is going, allocating it to specific depots or even directly to big customers, while the truck is still on the road.
This whole planning process really boils down to 2 types of orders. You've got your bulk orders. These are the huge drops, over 30,000 liters from major clients. Then you have bulk break orders, which are the smaller deliveries that are sent out from a local depot. And knowing the difference between these two is just everything for getting that final mile right.
Okay, let's talk about that final handoff, from depot to customer. This is it, getting the fuel from the depot and into the tanks of the people who actually ordered it. So you might be wondering, how do they figure out what to charge all these different customers? Well, that's where something called the slate table comes in. Think of it as a dynamic pricing model that the CFO manages. It makes sure that a customer in one region pays a fair price based on things like how far the fuel had to travel. It's basically the financial brain behind the whole sales operation.
And that brings us to our last section, the numbers that matter. The physical journey is complete, but how do you actually measure success? Well, for that, we've got to look at the financial scoreboard.
This chart right here tells a huge story. You can see clear as day that the big bulk orders are the real financial backbone of the business. They're pulling in 28.5 million rand, while the smaller orders bring in about 2.5 million. For the people running the show, this tells them exactly where the money is being made.
And to get a live pulse check on the health of the entire operation, the CFO's dashboard is key. It basically boils everything down to 3 crucial numbers that tell the whole story. Let's start with the potential.
First up, revenue expected. Right now, there's a 10 million rand pipeline of future business just sitting there. Orders that have been placed but aren't approved yet. That's a lot of potential. But as we know, potential can also be lost.
Which leads us right to revenue lost. This number is a critical diagnostic tool. It shows 750,000 rand has just vanished due to operational problems. You have to track this number, because it's how you find and plug the leaks in your system, sometimes literally. And after all that, we get to the final result,
which is revenue generated. This is the bottom line. This is the money in the bank from all the deliveries that went off without a hitch. At the end of the day, this is the number that tells you if you won the race.
So when you step back and look at it, it's pretty clear this is so much more than just trucks on a highway. It's a story about integration. Every single physical step, from the supplier in one country to the customer in another, is being perfectly mirrored and managed by a constant flow of data.
And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? When technology gives you the power to track every single drop of fuel, every truck, in real time, what does it really take to master the flow of business? It's not just about moving stuff anymore. It's about mastering the flow of information that makes everything else possible.